Hi everybody, how are you? Leon Murray here from Haka for Life. Hey, Friday night, promise time. I'm a bit slow out the gates this week. I've been asleep. I fell asleep after work, so I've not long woken up. I had an alarm clock, my youngest daughter Ella, and she said, Dad, sorry I didn't wake you up. So we're going to get into it. Look, for those people that have just joined us in the Haka for Life community on our Facebook page this week, I'm just so thankful that you've joined and connected to the passion that I have and we have here at Haka for Life. And one thing that we're committed to is the men's mind health and well-being and suicide awareness for all men in this world, and ensuring that the connection that we have as a community and as people is a connection of a space with no judgment, a clearing for people to be able to be themselves, a place for people to be able to share honestly and how they're feeling in life. I believe that that's the best way for us to get people to communicate. When certainly if you think about your own journey in life and the moments in life where you feel most comfortable to be able to share how you are or what's going on in your life, you'll probably find that a lot of those times it's when you don't feel threatened at all. And so I want to create a space, and I'm committed to it, where it's authentic and it's just straight up, and I don't want to have to water anything down. I don't want to have to be a person that makes sure that we've got our our ducks lined up so we look good in life, and then behind the scenes it's a different picture. I go through challenges just like everybody else in life, and I'm sure many people out there can relate to it, but I just want to share the experiences that we have here to see that me as the person that is the founder and creator of Haka for Life is just as vulnerable as we all are. I'm no better than anybody, I'm no worse than anybody, like you are to me and I am to you, is that we need each other. And this is a community effort and a community of love that's going to ensure that we keep men alive and stop them from seeing suicide as an option. It's a community effort and community love that is going to help men get past depression and to be able to show up more powerfully in their lives and to be a positive contribution. So that's what I'm committed to. So that's what you've done if you've jumped on our Facebook page and liked us this week. So look, I had a wonderful conversation this week with Noongar Elder James Webb, with Sam Kickett, and also with Ash Penfold from the Noongar community here in Perth, the Aboriginal community. And it was incredible, and I'm so excited, along with Jamie Schuster here in Perth, and also my uncle Puke Potapu. We got together as Māori and Aboriginal to create our intention and create the day for the Anzac Day Haka for Life 2018 Corroboree is what we're going to be calling it. So we're very excited. It was amazing what we were able to create out of the conversation, what we were able to acknowledge in each other's cultures, and what we were able to acknowledge as men, not just as Indigenous men, but just as men in general. Amazing, sharing different stories and experiences through phases of depression that we've been through, and to acknowledge each other for sitting at a table and coming up with a conversation that's going to have a positive contribution to men's mind health and well-being, and to raise awareness around the challenges of suicide. As they sit, there's an average of just over 6 men a day take their lives here in Australia. There's a suicide attempt every 8 minutes in our country, and someone in Australia dies from suicide every 3 hours. When we expand on that and you go even to New Zealand, just over the ditch there, so to speak, for a term that is used here in Australia, they have the highest youth suicide rates in the developed world. And look, these are statistics that I'm just not cool with at all, and I'm just committed to changing them. I believe part of that change, or empowering that change, is by being able to have men and women and children that share authentically and just share openly. So part of my connection to you is not to water things down, is not to go to make out that the picture of my life is perfect at all. I'm not saying I'm imperfect, but I'm just saying that human beings go through things all day, every day. Don't think that because people get on a camera that life is all roses. We come up with challenges. I'm a single dad, solo dad. I've got 4 teenagers. My house in this lounge here about an hour and a half ago was full of 5 teenage girls that were attempting to sing. I was asleep. It was very hard on my ears. But those are the things that we go through. Those are the fun things that we have. But as any parent will know, whether they're a solo parent or a parent in general, there's a certain way that you have to be for your children, and there's always challenges that come up. not only, do you have to be for your children, but if you're in a relationship as well, inside of that, you've got the challenges of the commitment to your relationship to your partner. And those are certainly things that go on each and every day. So, hey, and it's all good. That's the great thing about it. But look, the conversation that we had with the guys there about the Anzac Day and corroboree and haka is incredible. I'm so excited about what is going to be created. I believe that it's going to be the most amazing haka and corroboree that we've ever seen in this country. I've no doubt the creativity that come out of it, the ideas that come out of it, just excited me much, and I just can't wait to continue. We're continuing conversations around that as we speak, and as things go on. We're enrolling community people to be able to embrace our idea and our concept of what we're trying out to achieve, and that's the biggest conversation on Anzac Day around the world about men's mind health, well-being and suicide awareness, as well as, most importantly, honouring our Anzacs. So that is certainly something that is going to continue. I've got a meeting next week here in Perth with the RSL, and after that I'll have some more details. We'll have details on the practices that we're creating for the corroboree and the haka, and it will be, I'll say now, it is an open invitation to anybody in the public, no matter what race, no matter what religion, no matter what creed you come from. Everybody is invited to perform with us, and that's certainly something we want to create as a community. As I pointed out, this is going to take a community effort for us all to be together, to be able to positively impact the mind health and well-being of men all around the world and in this country. So you'll have more details coming up very soon about that. So I'm so excited. I look forward to it. Hey, one of the things, when I connect to being open and authentic is, it's a big achievement for me this month, is that it's 1 year with no ice. And I don't mean ice that you put in your drink, I mean the drug ice. Here in Western Australia, it's at epidemic proportions, and it's certainly having a massive effect on our society. And to be honest, that's a challenge right across our country. I definitely know that it's a big challenge in New Zealand and other parts of the world. I want to share openly and authentically with you about the challenges that I've had in life, and that was one of the life choices that I made as a coping mechanism to be able to cope through life. And I can tell you straight up, it didn't work. So if you're in that place and you're in that space, with the challenges that come with ice, I can ultimately tell you, whether you're a male or female, that the outcome is not the outcome that you're expecting. I know the hit and I know everything that comes with ice. But ultimately, what I'm trying to create here is a conversation that you're not currently having with yourself. And I want to say to you that no matter where you are or where you're not in life, the choices that you're making around that are only going to have a negative impact on your life. I share what I share with you, knowing that there are people that can't be with that communication, that hate the conversation around that drug and hate the effect that it's had on their families, on their loved ones, and on our community. And I am absolutely with you. I just want to share with you that those are the choices that I made up until a year ago. And even then, they were, I suppose, recreational use at times, but what I'm saying to you is that it's been ice free, nothing there whatsoever, and a choice that I stopped making. And for those people that may be going through that or trying to understand that, it was a conversation that I started with myself, that I didn't need this anymore. And that's what I'm asking you to do right now, is to start a conversation with you, no matter where you are, no matter how you feel, that it's time to stop. And this conversation can carry into areas of alcoholism, areas of gambling. And those are certainly conversations that I've had with myself, to be able to stop those things in my life, and to be able to interrupt the story that I had in there, that, those as coping mechanisms were going to fix my situation and my problems in life. It was total bullshit. I was dreaming. It was never going to happen as a coping mechanism for those to impact or change my life in any way. So I say this, and I want to share so that the person who talks here on camera or shares these videos, I'm aware that, I believe personally that too much in life we've got a facade that human beings are painting, that things are perfect, that things are great, that the person that you arrive as in life is just, there's no blemishes, that we don't have a story. But that's just not the reality of how things are. That was my story. I chose as a husband, and then later on as a boyfriend, to use alcohol, to use drugs, to use gambling, to use sex as a way and a means to cope with what I wasn't able to deal with in my life. And that is certainly not the case now, and life is a whole lot different. But for me to be able to connect with you and to be able to connect with anybody, I feel it's important that you hear my story and that you know that, hey, there's men that are taking responsibility. I put my hand up and I take responsibility. I'm not going to hide behind anything that I'm not at all. There was once upon a time in life where I did, for a long, long time in my life, where I wasn't responsible. I had two lives. I had this life here where I might make out that everything was all good, and then I had another life where I just wasn't. You know, I was just being fake. I wasn't being an authentic version of me. I wasn't being a true, my true self to me. And look, I know many people that are watching these videos will identify with that you're going through challenges that, you know, sometimes you can be this wonderful, happy person and things are on track, and then all of a sudden you get derailed by whatever challenges come up in life. I had a call this morning from a friend who's really challenged at this stage in his life, and he's struggling with drugs. And we just had a wonderful conversation with him, and I just shared exactly what I'm sharing with you now. And I just said to him, look, these are the challenges that I went through. I know the space that he's in. And he shared back to me that he just felt, I suppose, relieved to be able to share openly and honestly about where he's at in life. And look, I don't want you to think in any way that I don't have a mindset or don't understand the negative impact that alcohol, that drugs, and certainly ice or whatever drug, to be honest, man, they all have devastating effects. I know people have a certain fixed opinion about ice because of the way and the effect that it is, but I can tell you that there's tons of other drugs out there that are having just as big an effect on our community as well, that sometimes get unspoken or unnoticed, and we can miss people under the radar that are going through those challenges. So when I talk about drugs, I talk about it right across the board. That we've got to be able to be with communication that people are struggling through, so that we can be a clearing. And I just I share the story and I share my position and share the things that I've gone through, so that people understand that this is a man that's gone through things, and I've seen the effects and the decisions that I took as choices in life that they had on people that I loved and that I still loved, and the breakdown of my relationships, and the effect on my children, the effect on my family, the bullshit that gets talked and spoken for those things to stay in existence, because I'm trying to get a fix on things, because I'm not able to communicate what was going on inside of me. This is why I'm big on interrupting the story that we have in our life. This is why I'm huge on sharing my story and the challenges that I go through, just so that men and women can see, hey, we all go through things, man. It's called being a human being, and there's nothing wrong with it. Connect yourself to services, to counselling. I can hold hand on heart and say that's one of the best things that I've done. Check my video out on Monday. I had an interview with my psychologist, Annabelle Afan, and the reason is to connect people to see what the process and the procedure is with counselling when you sit down with psychologists and counsellors and see their mindset and understand that they're there to help you, not there to judge you. And those are certainly services that we have to get connected to as a community. And it's going to take a community effort for all of us to be able to shift the mindset and the effects that depression is having on people, shift the story that people have about themselves, and interrupt the story, the negative story that people have, that they are no good, that they are worthless, that life is shit, that life can't be any other way, because that's certainly not the truth at all. So I share this story, and hopefully it resonates with people. I just want you to know that we're always available here to be able to talk. Message us at Haka for Life. One of the long-term goals that I want to do and set up here is to run programs and seminars to be able to empower men and to be able to help them understand that you can communicate from where you are. And don't worry, if there's a man there that can't share, you can. I'm telling you that no matter what your mind tells you, and no matter the story that is going on in your head, that you're not able to talk, it is not real, it is not true. I would never have shared what I'm sharing here with you on camera in my life, but I've been able to learn how to communicate. I've been able to make myself vulnerable. I've been able to not worry about the judgment that people have, and understand that people will always have judgment. They're human beings. There's always opinions there. It doesn't matter. It's not whether they're right or wrong. It's not even that they're true. They're just opinions. And if you know that you are focused towards a goal and an outcome of waking up to be a better human being each and every day, then you've got a friend in me to be able to stand beside you, to be able to understand you, to be able to love you, and to be able to, to direct you that, and to believe in you and empower you that there are better ways and other ways for you to fulfill upon, being that human being that you want to in life, and that even no matter your circumstance or your current situation, that you can have a changed and a transformed mindset where you can communicate to people around you and to people in everyday life, and to be able to show up in a positive way. That's certainly something, if you stay connected to our Haka for Life community, that you're going to see on this journey. That's what I'm committed to, is making sure that we're open and authentic here in every way and in the dealings that we take on. So look, those are some of the things that I've been going through this week. And with my friend today, we were able to point him and get him to a counsellor, to a psychologist, to be able to cause a conversation there, which is wonderful. I can also say that through my counselling, my youngest son has continued his counselling, and this has all come about because I made a decision and a choice in my life to share. And there's power in sharing. That I've been having counselling for a number of months. I'm continuing it. If you're not aware, here in Australia you have access to free counselling through your Medicare card. You can go and have an interview with your doctor. They go through what's called a mental health care plan. I want to change it to a mind health care plan. For me, it's mind health, it's not mental health. That's another conversation, but it's a simple conversation. It's a non-intimidating conversation. It's a conversation that takes place through a doctor to be able to connect you with a counsellor, a psychologist, that you can go to and start the conversation about what's going on in life, and to connect with somebody that is trained in coming up with different strategies and empowering you to be able to get through life and to take the challenges on. So those are certainly steps that you can take in life to show up a lot more positively and to change the way that you currently walk through life and do things. So that's what's there, and that's what's available for all of us. Look, I've probably been going on a little bit tonight. I am a little bit tired this week, but I just wanted to share and connect with you, and just to let you know that those are the things that have been going on in my week. I want to acknowledge all the men that have reached out to me, and that have, whether it be through Messenger, whether it be through seeing me in and around workplaces or just in life, and acknowledging the sharing that takes place here. And look, I want you to know that that comes about because of that encouragement. I get on here and I share openly and authentically because of your encouragement and our conversations that we're able to have man to man, and our ability to be able to share. So I thank you for that. I ask that you continue it. And look, just as I close tonight, I want to ask anybody that is watching this video to acknowledge a man in their life, in your life, in their lives, for anything positive that they're doing. Let them know. For fathers out there, I acknowledge you for being a father that is present in your children's life. For single dads that are there and that are still wanting to be in their children's lives, still wanting to be a part of it, I acknowledge you. No matter the circumstances, and I understand what you go through. As I'm a single father, and I've been through the challenges that come with divorce and relationship breakdown later on as well, with my relationship with my ex-girlfriend and that. So I know the impacts that has there when you've got children involved as well. And men that are trying at work and a commitment in our communities and in our sporting groups, I acknowledge you all for the effort and the commitment that you're making. So I ask you to take that practice on, to acknowledge a man in your life. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. If you've got any questions or you'd like to raise anything here so that I can use it as a discussion point here, please do send it to us at Haka for Life. We're getting our webpage is up and running, www.hakaforlife.org. We're going to be sending a lot more things to our website there in the future. I'm very, very excited about what we've got coming up. I love you all so much. It's always great to catch up with you. Bye for now.